Hello, everybody in Progress Report World, which is Hooksett, Auburn, and Manchester. We're always glad to have you with us. We hope you'll participate by joining our conversation, calling us 640-3091. I guess you have to add the 603 now, don't you? I keep forgetting that. But you do. And here it is. It's already December, folks. We are in the holiday season. We have the Christmas parade coming up. When does that say? It's this Saturday, right?
This Saturday at 4 o'clock, yeah.
And it's a in many wonderful parades in Manchester. This will be one to celebrate the holiday season and the vibrancy of our downtown. But today, I would normally be here with my good friend Senator Lou D'Alessandro, but he's in Santa Fe because of a state council of state.
Cities, League of Cities.
I think it was Council of State Government or something.
Exactly.
But in any event, he's not here today, and my good friend and host for the last, my God, can I believe it, almost 12 years, Mike Farley is off being a contributing member of our community as a part of the Ancient Honorable Order of Hibernians, which is an organization he leads and cares a lot about. But we are not without great resources here tonight. We have two wonderful people with us. Our good friend Pat Long, long-term serving member of Alderman from Ward 3, and with one hiatus when he was on the Board of School Committee, as I recall.
That's it, yeah.
But now he's back as an alderman representing the downtown district. And Mary Heath, who in addition to being a very distinguished state representative, part of the leadership in the state of New Hampshire House of Representatives, or the minority now, unfortunately, but she's been a leader when they're in the majority or the minority, and now a newly elected for the first time alderman in the city of Manchester. And it's terrific to welcome you both, because we got a lot of big issues in Manchester, as you know. I felt, and I hope you both did, well, I bet you did, because you both prevailed, that we had a very successful election in November in the city, where we have our elections in the odd number of years, which this, of course, was one. And we have a new Board of Mayor and Aldermen with many fine new members, including Mary Heath, and several of the outstanding women, I'm proud to say, including in my own Ward 12, Erin Kelly, Christine Fajardo, and, oh my God, Mary yourself.
June Trisciani.
Yep.
And June Trisciani.
Yes.
What a stunning thing for her to top the ticket in the Aldermanic at-large meeting. I mean, I'm really, really impressed by that. So we're going to talk mostly, I think, about the issues of the city, both in education and other city issues tonight. And so, Pat, take it away.
Yeah, please call in with any issue you want to talk about.
Yeah, that helps a lot, folks. We
want
want your calls. We do.
We have a lot of exciting initiatives going on in Manchester. Thanks to Mayor Craig, the $25 million largest build grant in the country was received by Manchester. That's going to put the south end of downtown in the Mill Yard at a development where developers are going to be very interested in that. A lot of good things there.
Pat, let me ask you to talk a little about that. I've heard for years about the south end of Elm Street. It was going to be the gaslight district, and I had these ideas, these gas-fired lamps, like on Beacon Hill or wherever, these shishi places. And now we have some funding to help that come about. Is that right?
Yeah, there's an initiative in the Gaslight District. If you go on Manchester's web, it breaks down what the proposal is that we'll be doing. There'll be some walking bridges over Granite Street, for example.
Oh, really? We could use that, all
where
right.
that light is, where you sit out of Mill Yard meetings.
You want to go down to the Fisher Cats, you have to
forever.
wait forever to get across that big, wide expanse of Granite.
There's a lot of walkability initiatives, bike initiatives, which will bring development. This 25, well, it'll be 30 million, 5 million that the city put in, and my understanding is we already gave 4 million, so we'll be looking to appropriate another.
When might
million.
this happen?
It's already going to be a go this spring. Construction
No kidding.
on certain
That's something
initiatives
really
will start.
exciting to look forward to.
Absolutely.
And it's the largest grant that was given to its city, to a municipality.
In the country, yeah.
Yes.
Manchester, New Hampshire.
How do we pull that out? You have to give the mayor
Well,
some credit?
It's
Our
the mayor.
congressional delegation
Absolutely,
some credit?
yes.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, that's stunning.
Our federal delegation, which the mayor is connected to,
Oh, sure.
and I'm sure that her initiative is what got this for us through our delegation.
Wow, that's
So,
very exciting. I hadn't heard about this.
and of course, city staff for writing the proposal. It was
Yeah.
a well-written, well-thought-out proposal. So,
Thank you. Thank you again to the leadership of Mayor Craig for
Absolutely.
being key to all
Yep.
this. Yeah.
absolutely. And then, downtown development, there's 700 units, new units in the queue.
Housing unit.
Housing units.
Yeah.
Unprecedented.
Really, and
It-
very
it's-
needed.
And very needed is right.
Absolutely.
It includes, affordable housing units. So that's exciting. We're just in an unprecedented opportunity right now with the ARPA funding, with the infrastructure funding, with, the ARPA funding through the state, the county, and the city. This federal money, historically you hear of federal money, 200 million going to the airlines, 200 million going to whatever corporation. But this money is going to rank and file people.
Really?
And municipalities to help them improve their municipality without using the general funds from the municipality. I mean, of course, this is our taxes going to the feds. But I'll advocate for getting that money back at any time.
I'm sure you will. Effectively, too.
Absolutely. That's what we need.
Yeah.
Also helping us to recoup what we've lost through COVID, though.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
So, so the hopes is, through after 2026, when all this money is spent, we'll be saying COVID what?
What will the city look like? How will it be different if this all happens as we envision?
Well, it is going to happen.
Yeah.
Because it's already been appropriated. The infrastructure, I need to get more understanding of that. Saturday, I'm going to a Congressman Pappas event in Brentwood where he's going to explain that. So I'll get a little
Good.
better. I'm sure the mayor knows what the infrastructure bill will do. The grant will
Yeah.
do for.
Now, this is the
city.
legislation. It's already passed and signed into law, right?
Correct.
We're not
Yes.
waiting on the next one, which, is still kind of in
No, that's
the
right.
turmoil of
That's
a
right.
very narrow majority, if at all,
Right.
in
Yeah. So
Congress.
this is thing that is going to happen. So you're going to see in the next 5 years, you're going to see a face change to the city of Manchester, which
Very exciting.
I've been looking for that.
Very exciting.
And when times are good, I believe that the citizens of Manchester should see a face change somewhere, some way, in some location, and this is absolutely going to give it to us.
Is this going to do anything about completion of our pedestrian trail system? Is it going to help in bringing the Rockingham Trail into downtown and the New Hampshire Heritage Trail to be, continuing along the
Yeah,
riverfront?
that's a state initiative. I know this build grant will set up some trails.
Yeah.
Some walkability is
Yeah.
what the focus is on it.
I think that's
so
a
you can
key
ride your
thing,
bike
yeah.
and you
Yes.
can walk without being on the roads.
Yeah. Yeah.
There'll be paths for just that.
Yeah.
So that'll help immensely there. And I'm looking forward to the new BMA fresh perspectives. I mean, I lost twice, and I tell you, that wasn't bad. Because I had 2 years to
You
sit
survived
back.
it.
Well, I had
Well,
2
we're certainly
years-
glad
2
you're
years
back.
to sit back and look and say,
Yeah.
you got to jump out every now and then and get a different perspective.
Well, it sounds very
And
exciting.
So it is. It's very exciting. I mean, of course, we have the housing issues.
Yeah.
Today, I listened in on it was organized by the Granite Street Organizing Project on tenant issues. And there were multiple tenants there was a young professional woman who was considering moving out of Manchester because of housing. She just can't afford it. So she's looking to relocate in Massachusetts, Texas, my understanding is where you're seeing the lower housing rates for professionals.
I don't think
So-
that's going to last long, though.
So here's a professional that is about to leave Manchester because I can't afford these $2,300 rents. I start off at $1,800. I'm good at that, but
Really?
over 4 years it jumps up to $2,000 or so.
Huh.
We're 2 or 3 oldest state in the country. with the
Yeah,
elderly,
right,
and
right,
then
right.
we've had an initiative at the
Right.
State House for how many years, Mary, on how do we keep the youth
That's right.
and
Yeah.
Stay, work,
in
play.
the state.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and housing
Yeah, yeah.
housing is paramount.
Housing is
Actually,
key, and I
Alderman
think
Will Stewart works on
transit
that.
opportunities are key
Yeah.
too, including commuter rail.
That's huge.
Yeah,
Well, commuter rail with this infrastructure
Yes.
is part of that. So
so wonderful to hear.
yeah, so the initiative that we've been working on since the state accepted the $4 million,
Yeah,
you're looking at 3 years, 4
Yeah.
years tops
Yeah.
to having a commuter rail.
yeah. Wow, that's so exciting. I
Well-
just love it. Mary,
Anybody who travels on 93 will appreciate the rail.
oh yeah.
Absolutely.
By the way, folks, I don't know if you know this, but over the Thanksgiving holiday, I had two Thanksgivings. One on Thanksgiving Day in Falmouth, Maine, and one the next day in Somerville, in the Friday. But we decided to take the train, the Downeaster from Exeter to Portland.
Yes.
It was wonderful.
It really is.
It was on time.
is, yep.
It was, the seats were comfortable. You seen some interesting scenery. They had a cafe car. It was just great. And on the return train, which was also, we took the next morning, Friday morning, every seat was packed with Bruins fans
Yes.
and a few Rangers fans, all wearing their gear. And they're going to a station where they have to get outside and go in to watch a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
If the train was jam-packed full, it was a jolly time.
Sure.
And we should have that in Manchester, too.
Absolutely. I agree.
Mary,
So with this $25 million of that area, that's going to be the train area.
Yeah.
It's going to be the
Yeah.
station, the laydown area.
it's so exciting to hear this.
So that'll bring in more development issues.
Oh, big
interest.
time. And it'll not only help people to get to Boston, to go to the Boston Garden, or TD Garden, I'm sorry, for, events like Celtics and Bruins and the circus and whatever. But it'll bring a lot of people who might like to come and work in New Hampshire,
That's
but don't
right.
want to endure the commute on 93.
That's right.
They will come here too.
They can come north.
They can come north
Yes.
and work on the train. They
Yes.
can, work on their laptops.
We have the bus, but it's not the same.
It's not the same
train
because the
will
bus
make a
gets stuck in
difference.
traffic
Absolutely.
too.
Yes,
Right.
it does.
So, Mary,
Yes.
you are a wonderful person. You've been a contributor for a long time in many ways, but for the first time, you've been elected to city office as an alderman. What prompts you to do it? What are your goals, and what do you hope to achieve?
Well, I love my city,
Obviously,
and I've lived here all my life.
yep.
And, as I said on the show once before when I was here, I ran for office because my opponent was more of a conservative and I'm more of a liberal. And I wanted people to have a choice. But I also admire the work that our Mayor Craig is doing. She's absolutely phenomenal.
I agree.
She has a plan. Everything she does is thoughtful. Data backs up the steps that she takes. I mean, this grant that she just got is wonderful. And so, I wanted to be part of the conversations about bringing more housing to Manchester. I'm excited about what's going on in the Mill Yard, what Dean Kamen's done, and the level and quality of employees that he's bringing to the city.
Yeah.
And the Mill Yard is just phenomenal. And I think we are a hub to be watched. People want to live in Manchester, New Hampshire. They want to come here because of what's happening here. And I want to be part of those conversations and building that. So that's in my heart. That's really why my political self said, well, I didn't want my colleague to be able to run unopposed, so I wanted to give him a run for his money. So there's that too. But it just, when you live in a place all your life, and I've had different jobs, so I've traveled around the country. But I come back to Manchester and I see what we have. And I know we're not perfect and there are areas that we need to work on. I'd love to see universal preschool in Manchester. And actually, that's something that Congressman Pappas is working on in Washington right now, and in the bill that the Congress passed. So I hope that will be something that we can bring to Manchester, because even though our test scores in Manchester are not as high as they should be, our kids need that jump ahead. We have children who are coming to school not prepared, And if we had universal preschool, we'd give them those extra years of school
Which
to
I
help
think
them
the
get
data
ready.
shows is so important to
Absolutely.
future success,
Absolutely.
both in the classroom and beyond.
And as a legislator, I have worked I don't know how many years as deputy commissioner and as a legislator to get full day funding for full day kindergarten, and we've achieved that. We did it, and so now the next step would be to work on getting universal preschool. And I know that won't be popular right now with some, but I think for our state to be what it needs to be, for young families, it's something that's going to attract young families to come to live in New Hampshire and the city of Manchester. I think that's something that we really need to look at.
Yeah, yeah. I have the feeling, and I want to hand out I love to give the credit to Manchester Proud, what they've done.
Oh,
Because I think
absolutely.
they've been a phenomenal thing. Barry Brenzinger, Bob Baines, the others are Manchester Proud. Because I think that's one of the major things that we have to tackle in the city of Manchester is the perception, which is not the reality, but the perception that our education is equivalent to what you get if you move to the suburbs.
Absolutely.
How do you think we're doing on that?
Well, as being one of the founders of Manchester Proud many years ago, we actually began Manchester Proud because businesses and industry were saying we need those future employees.
Yes,
and
we
we
do.
need them to be sufficiently prepared. And that was the focus that we began this journey on, called Manchester Proud. Now, Barry Bressinger has taken it. He's run with it. The organization has grown. I'm no longer part of it, but actually they have a retreat that's going to be going on tomorrow night. And Barry has really focused on building the reputation of our schools because we do have a lot to offer.
Yeah.
And I think that talking about what we do have and where we want to go and what are the changes that we can make so that the children are really achieving at higher levels and getting people prepared and participating in our schools. We've gone through some bumpy periods. COVID has really been tough. It's been tough on families. It's been tough on teachers. It's hard. Some of the teachers were teaching children at home while they were trying to teach in the classroom. And right now, our children are back in school. Our numbers are pretty consistent with what they were prior to COVID, which is a good thing.
It means they haven't had too much
That's right.
backsliding in the time when the remote learning was.
So we need to catch them up. We need to say, where are they now, and what can we do to bring them up to speed?
Yeah.
This has been tough on teachers. They're kind of doing double duty. So administrators, parents, everybody is in this together. We've got to figure out good ways to support our children. And Manchester Proud is very much part of that.
Yeah.
We're looking at a new school board, a growing number of new members on our
right,
board.
right.
Excited about that. I know that Chris Potter is joining the board, and he's actually a former City Year young man.
Yeah, that's a wonderful program.
Yes, it is. And
Provided
City Year
many,
has
many
brought
fine
so
citizens.
much.
Yeah.
They really support our schools in so many ways, in the before school and after school programs, and they're in with the children every single day. They're out at recess playing games with the children at recess time, really modeling those behaviors that we want to see with children.
that's
So,
great.
I'm a big supporter of City Year, as I know my colleague is.
Absolutely. Again, unprecedented times. ESSER funding, 91 million within the school
Yep.
district for behavioral, mental health. What can we do to help the teachers? Again, unprecedented times, and we don't need studies anymore. We have data. Manchester Proud have done
Yes.
their own data,
Yes.
just within the city of Manchester.
Meticulously. Yep.
That is unprecedented.
And
I don't recall in my
incredibly
14,
valuable,
15
yeah.
years
it's wonderful.
of the city of Manchester getting that data. So everything's data driven. We already have the data. We know what's needed. It's not like we have to study something to figure it out.
And funded with private dollars, by the way.
Yep. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this again with the district is another opportunity to start, collectively, cutting away at the barriers that are
Right.
keeping our kids from achieving and and being able to show after implementation that the achievements are on a rise.
And
Academic achievement.
we need to be cheerleaders for our schools and for our teachers.
Yeah, we do.
And the more we support them, the more, there's that self-fulfilling prophecy. Build it and it will happen. And we need to start doing that. We need to show that we support our school. Our superintendent is working hard. He's been with us now, is it almost 5 years, Dr. Goldhart?
Is it that long, really?
Yeah, I believe his
I
contract.
think we're close to almost,
looking to be
and
extended, yeah.
through some tough times. COVID
Yeah.
COVID has been a challenge for any administrator.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Any
And
educator.
in the city of Manchester, being the largest school district in the state, it's been tough because we have a lot of different issues that come up. Now we have the voucher issue that we're dealing with. We have students that are being homeschooled. So you've got a variety of different things going on. But then what happens? The children always come back to the public schools.
They do?
And then we have to say, well, where do we need to take you? So that's something that we want to work on and make sure we give our teachers the training, but the tools, so everybody has the supplies. And now, with the funding, the ESSER money that we have, and the budget that the school district has this year, they have funds to do those kinds of things. So I am really looking optimistically at our school district and what will happen over the next few years.
Well, that's wonderful to hear. Okay, well, folks, Pat knows this. I don't know if you know, Mary, but normally we take a couple of breaks in the course of this show. And I think we'll take one now, Brendan, just to kind of check in and make sure I'm going to have my guests talk about the things that they really want to present. So, and folks, please, we certainly would love to hear from our viewers. 603-640-3091. We'd love to hear from you, and we'll put you right on if you choose to call in. And we'll be right back after a very short break. Hello, folks in Progress Report land. This is me, Bob Backus, going on 12 years here. I can't believe it. As I mentioned at the opening, Lou D'Alessandro is off at a national conference of state legislators of some sort in Santa Fe, so he's not here. Mike Farley is off, helping the Hibernians to fulfill their charitable missions for the good of the city of Manchester. So here I am, and very pleased to have with me two outstanding guests, newly elected Alderman Mary Heath, longtime serving state rep and part of the leadership of the House, either in the minority or the majority position. May it be the majority very soon. And Pat Long, who just does endless numbers of things and serving as Ward 3 in Manchester on all kinds of issues. He's accomplished so much. It's really a pleasure to be with the company of these people. And we've been talking about some particular issues in the city of Manchester, and we hope you'll call in and bring your issue up too. But I thought we might just talk about a couple of other issues as we go forward. We've talked about a bit about the housing issue, a little bit about the transportation issue, but we are facing issues that have not gone away. I want to mention particularly the issue of homelessness, which is tied up with the issue of the opioid pandemic, I believe, in a major way. And, maybe you guys would like to address what you think has been done about that, what needs to be done. I know we have a new coordinator of addressing the homeless problem, and so Shauna Green, I hope she'll be available to us soon. She wasn't tonight, but I hope, Pat, with your help, we'll have her on soon. But
Absolutely, yeah.
I understand she's really very, very good at what she's doing. She's making a good difference. Maybe you both would like to kind of address that, because it kind of is an aldermanic and governmental
Yeah,
issue.
absolutely. Yeah. With respect to homelessness, I look at it at two different portions. One is the homeless. These are people that are couch surfing, people that are doubling up, tripling up in apartments, living in their cars, and then the unhoused, which are living in encampments. And before I even touch on that, the New Hampshire Municipal Association had their annual meeting at the Hilton Doubletree downtown, and the mayors, which Mayor Craig was involved with, these 13 mayors that got an award for their advocacy for municipalities. And part of that was with the housing issue, the homelessness. So again, our mayor is a standout. So this is not unique to the city of Manchester. There are 13 other cities that are having the same issues. However, we're working on, we're working on, FIT is the New Horizon, is the homeless shelter. They're a nonprofit business, which gets state funding for the beds that they carry. Now we're looking at winter shelter. I know it started actually. What's today? December 1st, right?
It is.
Yeah. So it's started today. Those that are looking to come in out of the cold will have at 1269 Cafe an opportunity to come in, out of the cold.
Is that sort of the entry point for them to get dispersed to a?
Correct. Yeah,
A
it's
warm
new. It's
spot.
New Horizons will be processing people from New Horizons into units that we have set up, and actually Shauna has set up in different churches that are. One of them is going to accommodate 7, one's going to accommodate 8. So this is all private funding that they'll be doing. The churches will be taking a stand on.
What
on
are
our
the
homeless.
churches going to do that the traditional homeless shelters won't do?
Well, the homeless shelter is at capacity.
Oh, it is.
So
Okay.
so they need to move people that can live in that situation. In a church, they're going to have volunteers. So there are some people you may want to hang on to if their mental health status is at a level where they really, you don't really want to have volunteers, who aren't experienced in dealing with that, or your habitual substance use disorder, where, somebody is not trained in caring for that. So they'll be transitioning out of the New Horizon, and that'll open up space for other people to go in there.
Have we got on top of the problem of homeless encampments? First, we had the, what was the, down by the Amoskeag Bridge,
Yeah.
then while we were providing services there, including police presence.
Well,
And then, there was the courthouse, and it always seems like you push them out of here, you push them out of there, and yet they seem not to be, getting into a situation that can be good.
yeah, so to Shauna's credit, there has been, I believe she told me yesterday, 28 people in 2 months that have transitioned into transitional housing.
Oh,
So
that's
these
great.
are unsheltered people that have agreed to transition into transitional housing, and it happens to be a company, and I can't think of their name off the top of my head. Is it Gateway Homes or Gate Homes, or I should know that, with only 2 recidivism. So out of the 28, only 2 came back.
That's a pretty outstanding,
That's good.
that's
Yeah,
an
so,
outstanding
and
result.
that
Small
is-
numbers, but outstanding.
Well, that has been a thought for a while, that 10,
Yeah.
15, 20%
Yeah,
are open for help.
yeah,
And this gatehouse company was in Victory Park for these 2 months, talking to people to get in the van, and we're going to take you to a transitional housing unit, work on your underlying reasons for being homeless.
yeah.
So Shauna bringing that to us, I haven't heard in my 14 years of, FIT does casework, where they transition people from, because there are people out there that aren't, you always hear that they don't want services, they don't want help. That's just not the case.
Yeah.
They want help, they want services, and the bottom line, as far as anybody with mental health, you need to hold their hand. They are never gonna realize that they need help.
Yeah.
You need to hold their hand and get them that help.
Marie Devlin has actually invited some of the new aldermen
Yeah, I'll be there
to
Friday.
on Friday at 12:30.
You're going to tour the
We're gonna
families in
tour the
transition facilities.
facility, yes.
Yeah, and,
Well, that should be
and
interesting.
see the process, because
Yes.
because a lot of people think they just go to the, I got a bed for you, so you come in, you have a bed, you get up, you have breakfast, we throw you out. We'll see you tonight. That's not all they do. There's programs that they offer. There's transitions that they offer. There's a wraparound that they offer.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, I think that's what we need. Instead of like Shauna, instead of bringing everything to the encampments, their food, their blankets, their toothbrushes, their whatever, empower them to come out and get this stuff themselves. I mean, I get up in the morning and I make the coffee, and I sit there and I'm waiting for somebody to bring me my breakfast, and it's not coming, right? So, I got to go grocery shopping, I got to buy it, and I got to cook it. Let's, instead of enabling people, if you need breakfast, you have to get up and go here.
Now, are there options for employment? I see everywhere I go in the city of Manchester.
Yeah.
I know that some restaurant on Monday there are not very many restaurants open simply
Right.
because they can't
Right.
get employees.
And the ones that are say expect slow service because we don't have the
Absolutely.
staff we need.
So are there must be opportunities for folks to get employment?
There is.
Yeah.
There is, and there's a lot of employment available. And
Absolutely.
Oh
and-
my
and
gosh.
the rates are like $15, $18.
I think the number one employment
for a
opportunity is
starting
people
job.
painting help wanted signs.
Yeah,
Well, really?
yeah, exactly.
Well, Dunkin' Donuts, there's this $14 an hour.
Yeah.
And for our schools, finding educational assistance is so difficult because the city pays a certain rate, but now outside, there are more jobs
Yeah.
offering more and more money, even
Yeah.
up to $18 an hour in some instances.
Yeah. It's just absolutely amazing.
So, and we've had organizations that have agreed to not check the felon box.
Oh, have you?
Yeah. So they'll as long as they get past
That's a huge thing.
as long
It
as they
is.
get past a urinalysis test, that we'll give them a job.
When you
'Cause
say
they're
organizations
desperate for
doing this,
people.
you're talking about private employers?
Talking about Lowe's, Walmart, these
Really?
big Home Depot.
Boy, that shows how much they really need the help.
Well, no,
Amazon
exactly, and let's
as well.
and let's take advantage of that.
Absolutely,
Again,
absolutely.
unprecedented opportunity.
Unprecedented
You know,
opportunity indeed.
And there are people that want to work.
Yeah.
You know, some of these unhoused people and people living, doubling up in apartments, they want to work.
Well, I think the more than anything else in life, maybe other than finding your life partner, finding a job that you can contribute to get paid to do and is contributing to the economy and to the benefit of the country.
Sure.
I think most people want to do that.
Yeah,
I don't think people want to sit around and just watch TV. I think that was always a giant myth. But people have these problems, and if we can get the help with the problems so they become employable, I think they will want to take up these
But
opportunities.
they also need shelter.
Yeah.
So that they have a place to take a shower, they have a place to get dressed, so that they are prepared to go to work.
Right.
Because when
Yeah.
you don't, for many years, some of our students who found themselves in homeless situations,
Yeah.
living in their cars, kids would make fun of them because they didn't smell right.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that there are opportunities for shelter
Yeah.
for people where they can get themselves ready for employment
Yeah.
or school.
Yeah, yeah, and it's you know, again, it's an opportunity with respect to the unsheltered with this funding coming in to you know, to get the services that they need. I mean, again, it's underlying reasons why people are in these, you know, are unsheltered.
And COVID remains an issue.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
every day we're living with it. And
And it seems to be really spiking right now. I mean, it's just alarming
is.
to hear the statistics for New Hampshire. The positivity rate is up at the highest
right.
level ever. Hospitalizations are up, if not at the maximum, close to it.
well, it's really becoming the COVID, the virus of the unvaccinated. You know, those
Yeah.
who have been vaccinated may get it. They may get breakthrough
Yeah, yeah.
COVID.
There are
but it's
examples
not
of
as
that.
serious.
Yeah.
But those young children, we're seeing a numbers of children that haven't been vaccinated and getting COVID.
Yeah.
And that's why just more and more, the more people who can go out and get vaccinated. And I think people are listening because from what I understand, they're doing COVID clinics across the state. I don't know if it's coming up this weekend.
I believe it is.
Yes. So, I mean, I'm hopeful
Yeah.
because the more people that get vaccinated, the sooner we can defeat this thing.
Yeah.
You know, I went to the Rite Aid on Elm Street, which is where I get my medications, and got the booster shot. And I went in and I said to the pharmacist, I said, "You busy?" He said, "Oh yeah, we're busy. We're busy. People." Oh, I said, "People getting boosters?" He said, "Yeah, but also getting the vaccines." The mandate is working.
Yes.
We're not hearing that news, but the mandate is working. People are saying, "No, I don't want to lose my job. I'm going to go get this vaccine." Some of them take the other view, and I've seen protesters here in Manchester, and we see them around the country about this, which is just, to me, incredible, because we all got our, you know, our smallpox and our, you know, diphtheria, and I can't remember all the shots we got as kids.
Yeah.
But
You
nobody,
had to get them
there
to
was-
go to school.
yeah, you had to go. You had to
That's
get them
right.
to go. Well, there was
Yes.
not a huge uproar about that.
Right.
I just don't understand it. But that's a huge thing, and yeah, I think I have to really hand it to our president for, you know, not backing down on this one bit. I mean, I think he's right, and you know, I hope. We're all hoping this is going to be to an end soon, but
Well,
we
this
don't
new
know.
variant is scary.
It's very scary.
And that's why, you know, we can't reinforce enough to everybody, please, please, please get vaccinated.
Yep.
And, you know, children now, I think as early as age 5 can
Yep.
get vaccinated.
That's right.
And I know I am so anxious to see I have a new niece, and I have yet to be able to go and visit her because she's not vaccinated yet,
Yeah.
because she's under that age. And it's so important that we're so careful around children, because children are contacting COVID, and it's serious for
Yeah.
many of them,
Yeah.
and in adults too. Before, it was almost like the COVID epidemic for the elderly, but now the elderly have been vaccinated, and we see less in our nursing homes. But now we're seeing more in the schools because the schools are open. with those children that haven't been vaccinated. So
Yeah.
if we can get everybody vaccinated, we'll get over this thing.
And I just have to say, we've had on here several times Phil Lexicos from the Manchester
Oh, yeah.
Department of Public Health,
Yeah.
and he and Anna Thomas. Who,
she's wonderful.
She absolutely.
Yeah.
These people are truly heroes to our community.
Absolutely.
I was so glad that they picked Anna Thomas would be the Citizen of the Year for Manchester. She certainly deserved it, because these are the people that are going to keep you well. A lot of doctors will help you if you get sick, but these are the people going to keep you well, and that's very, very important.
Well, that's one of the reasons, actually, why people come to Manchester, because we have services here in Manchester.
Yep.
There isn't another health department like we have in Manchester, across the state.
Well, somewhat in Nashua, I guess, but Nashua
Yes.
is the only other one.
Right.
And the others only have public health
That's right.
officers, I think, and that includes some pretty large
Right.
communities.
Right.
And we are very fortunate, and we certainly are getting our tax dollars worth out of these folks who are just terrific. I'm thinking about the other problems we've had in Manchester, and one of them comes up is the opioid crisis, where, again, Manchester had an outstanding initiative that's, was a lesson to the state and I guess the country, the Safe Station program. Now we've ended that, and what has what's come next doing the job? What do you think about where we're doing with our problem with opioid, which is very much related to the homeless problem? I know, the
Absolutely.
mental health issues.
Yeah. So
entirely.
there was still an avenue with which at 2 a.m, I mean, you don't get the 9 to 5 people abusing heroin or meth or whatever, wanting to clean up at noontime. It's usually either 2 a.m, 3 a.m. So there's still an avenue, and I can't for the life of me think of the fire department's initiative that we just approved that will help with that.
Yeah.
The doorway is also going to handle. The doorway is working with a nonprofit for a 24-hour initiative.
Oh, good.
So that's why the numbers at Safe Station decreased,
Will that be at CMC too?
and that's at CMC, correct? Yeah. So they're working with another entity to cover the 24/7 initiative. Now there's Making It Happen has a collaborative that I've been to. I get invited to their meetings. I've been to a few of them anyways. And it's like 28 or 29 people in the greater Manchester and Manchester area that have, that touch substance use disorder. And they collaborate with which, where are the gaps? What do we need? What are we stumbling on? Which is an awesome idea. I'm looking for this collaborative with respect to homelessness. We have a lot of entities out there touching the homeless issues. Let's have a collaborative with them as to what are the walls that we need to go over? Where are your gaps? And also with mental health. I know the Manchester Mental Health, which does an outstanding job, are over capacity.
They're out straight.
They're just over capacity, and it's
Really?
not. And I remember at the county level asking Peter.
Oh,
yeah.
Janelle. Peter
Yeah,
Janelle?
Peter Janelle, but actually the new Manchester.
Oh, yes, I can't. Ritter.
Yeah, Bill.
Bill, yeah.
Yeah, Bill. Asking Bill, is it finances? And he says, yeah, no, you could give me the finances, but I just can't find the qualified people.
Yeah.
And it's so hard.
Big problem.
They're just finding good mental health workers. They get trained at the mental health center, and then they go on and find employment someplace else. It's just there aren't enough people going into this field.
Really?
It is a critical
Where do they go?
shortage.
For better pay or what?
Private practice,
Yeah.
other place, Massachusetts, where the pay is higher.
Well, Kim
Calhoun.
Calhoun just got her doctorate degree. I mean,
That's right.
She was in our school district. That's when I first met her.
Yeah.
Doing outstanding work. She was in Greater Manchester Mental Health
That's
doing
right.
outstanding work, and is now looking into private practice.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
she
Right.
moved to Nashua, and she is in private practice. I just
Okay.
had coffee with her.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, I mean, that's the battle, is being able to be competitive or being high paying.
Well, again, it's our reimbursement rate of Medicaid
Yeah.
in
yeah,
New
yeah,
Hampshire.
yeah.
That's something that we worked on a little bit.
Right.
But I'm going to go be a little bit political right now because our state is doing well financially, and when we did our last budget, we had a good amount of money to work with, and instead of using money for some things like increasing the Medicaid reimbursements, we chose to do other things, and we also chose to cut taxes when we really should be focusing on some of the services that we should be doing for people, the homeless. We could have taken $100 million for housing, and I think those are the things that, as a state, we really need to focus on. And that's why I look forward to being an alderman and representative, because the two
it's-
work so well together.
They do.
Because you do one,
They do.
and it tells me as a finance committee member what we really need to do in Manchester and what I need to fight for.
Right.
I think we have a call. We always welcome our callers. Hello, caller. We thank you for calling in. Have you got a question or comment for either me or our guest?
Yes, I'd like to speak to Mrs. Heath, please.
Sure.
Hi there.
Go right ahead.
Hi, Mrs. Heath. Hi, Mrs. Heath.
How are
this
you?
This is Mr. R. calling. I just want to let you know, I think you know who this is.
I do.
I've got a call today.
And has your problem been solved?
Yeah, I'm all set until March 1st.
I'm sorry, I
It's all
did.
set to March 1st.
Oh, that's fabulous news. I'm so glad to hear that. That's wonderful news.
Me too.
I'm glad
Me
it
too.
worked
I
out
want
well
to
for you.
thank you because you're the one who, you were a big help to me, and I really, really appreciate that.
Well, that's what I'm here for. And I'm glad that I could help you.
I know.
I won't call you
I
by
just want to let
name,
you know I'm all set until March
but
1st, and my job's okay. I'm doing fine.
good. That's good news to hear. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
thank you. Have a good evening.
You
Hey, thanks for
too.
calling in. We
And thank you
appreciate
for
it.
that good news.
Okay, how many shows have I been
Okay,
on?
thank you.
Alderman Heath gets a call thanking her for, Alderman-elect Heath gets a call thanking her. I've never gotten one.
Well, you know what? In actuality, this gentleman is a wonderful man and has had some issues. And fortunately, actually, the rent issue was one that I was
Okay.
talking to you about.
Yeah.
So apparently, his issue was solved.
So much
So
first.
I have a
Good.
feeling that your work probably generated a
Well,
solution for
Shauna's
him.
work, yeah, you got it, absolutely.
But he's a
That's
wonderful man.
fantastic.
He's one of my early supporters. When I first ran for state rep in a special election, he came out and supported me. And he has been my supporter all these years since 2013. So
Is-
it's nice to hear from him.
Isn't one of the most satisfying
Yes.
things we do as public officials is constituent service?
Yes.
So you
No,
can
you're
help
right,
somebody
you're
who's
right,
having
you're right.
a problem with some part of the government and you can help them. That just feels
I
wonderful.
mean, you get a couple successes and you're good for another year.
Well,
You know what I mean? Really, it's like, wow.
but I have to do a shout out too to people like George Kapatis,
Yeah.
who every single time I had an issue with somebody trying to get unemployment benefits, every time I called George, the issue was taken care
Yeah.
of. We did the research that we needed to do, and it worked out
He's
well.
a terrific guy. Well, we got
Yeah.
another call. Hello, caller. Welcome to the Progress Report. We're happy to have you with us. Would you like to make a question or a comment?
I'd like to make a comment.
Please.
While we're doing thank yous in the season of Thanksgiving,
Yes.
as a former educator, I'd like to thank Mrs. Heath for helping me out when she was working for the Department of Education. I called her with a problem or a situation, wasn't really a problem. And right away she took care of it. So I'll fall in line with the other caller and make it public and let her know that her efforts don't go unnoticed.
Thank you very much.
I hope you can see she's smiling very broadly.
Yes.
And,
Thank you.
And we want to Pat Long
Yeah, no.
somebody to call in.
That's fine.
Pat Long.
But again, talking about being excited for the new board with these fresh perspectives, you know what I mean? This is what's important. With the BMA elect, the agenda is Manchester's improvement.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Manchester's
in this
We're all
together.
excited. We're
Right,
all
exactly,
excited about
exactly.
Manchester.
Right.
We've been excited about Manchester as a growing and thriving and exciting community, and I think the prospects have never been brighter than they are now. Get that damn train up here will be helpful.
Absolutely.
I wanted to just ask you about another thing. I know this is not particularly, well, I guess it's everybody's bailiwick. You know, I just would like to see Manchester take on a more aggressive role in energy,
agree.
efficiency and advancing renewable energy. Finally, we see the solar panels on the
Yes.
goddamn landfill on Dunbar
Finally.
Road. Finally. It's
Yes.
way longer it should have been.
Thank
But
you, Mayor Craig.
Thank you, Mayor Craig.
Yep.
But I would like to urge you both to consider, being advocates for Manchester becoming a community power or a city, municipality. We've had terrible things happen in the legislature and at the Public Utilities Commission.
Oh, I know.
And the new State Department of Energy, which I was a big advocate for, and I think it may eventually work out, but right now I'm not feeling too good about it because we are continuing to lag all of New England in advancing renewable energy and the best option of all, which is doing more without more electrons, negawatts, energy efficiency. And so I'm hoping that when I get ready to come back to you folks and your colleagues, that you'll be receptive to having Manchester become a community power, which means that Manchester would be offering to acquire power on behalf of its municipal accounts and its citizens for lower cost and more clean energy. So I'm hoping that that's something that
You can
you'll
count
all be
on
open
me.
to.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
all
open for
for
that
that.
discussion.
I
Absolutely.
certainly hope so. 'Cause
Let's have a
something
plan.
We this is an area like I think so many areas. I think Mary, you probably agree with me in education, where you think the state is making very bad decisions about our
Oh,
education policy. Vouchers and and funding for private educational institutions.
Tax money going to
And religious and private
Sectarian
schools and
schools,
all of
yeah.
that. I think it's all very damaging to one of the glories of American society, which is our public education system. Thank you, Horace Mann, and I don't know how many others, So I'm looking forward to having some good support there as the largest community and the largest municipality in New Hampshire and the largest municipality in northern New England, which we still are. I hope that as we get ready from the train to roll in here, we'll also get ready to be advancing our energy efficiency program.
and seeing those solar panels all over the place.
Yep, yeah, it's really great. I mean, there's lots of issues with the renewable energy thing too. Boy, it's been interesting to see. We had that battle royal over the Northern Pass project coming through New
yeah.
Hampshire. And ultimately, at the final stop, the Site Evaluation Committee turned it down by a decisive vote. Then they pushed it to Maine. It's just as big an issue there.
It is.
It's a huge issue there. But in any event, that's a kind of a big thing. Well, that's my particular rant on that, and I care a lot about that as I do the other issues you folks have been so well discussing.
Well, we need to do it, Bob. I agree.
We need
and
to do
when
it.
I go to Europe and I see the advances that they've made
Oh yeah,
in energy,
yeah,
I'm embarrassed.
yeah.
Because we could do that here.
We could do that.
We should be doing
We
it
should
here.
be doing it because it's a way to lead the world economically and environmentally, both of which are extremely important. We have excellent people working on this issue here, but it's kind of discouraging that we've had so much pushback from the other side of the aisle in Concord on this and so many other issues. Mary, we have a lot to be concerned about at the state level, obviously. And you are such a passionate advocate for public education. It's been your career. And then, as Deputy Commissioner of Education and what you do in the State House, what's the best thing we can do here in the city to not be undercut by these policies?
Well, I think we have to keep supporting our public schools. Right now, it's going to be tough because what people don't understand is that when one child chooses to take a voucher and leave the Manchester School District to go to another school, they don't get. They still need that one teacher for that classroom.
Sure they do.
They still need the school. So that money leaves. So as that numbers increase, then the amount of money that the city loses increases. So those are issues that we and we've always had choice in New Hampshire. We have charter schools. I mean, we have that wonderful Mills Falls charter school that they're doing phenomenal things, and so we do. But they're public schools, and now to see our tax dollars being taken and going through this charitable organization supposedly that is headquartered in Florida, and 10% of those dollars go to that agency.
Right.
That money leaving that taxpayer money leaving and going to that, either be it sectarian, but what troubles me so much, if it were overseen by the Department of Education, I think I'd even feel a little bit better about it, because I know there'd be some oversight. But I'm just really concerned about how are those funds going to be used? What are they going to be used on? And to what extent do we know that children are learning? We have lots of ways. We have minimum standards in New Hampshire. We have lots of ways that we look at how kids in New Hampshire are learning. And across our state, New Hampshire is a very high achieving state. Very high achieving state. Will that continue, is my question.
Yeah.
And I'm really concerned.
We need excellence in education to ensure that it does continue, for sure.
And public education is the foundation of our democracy. It's that chance where every single little boy and little girl can get a good education and become anything they want to be.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've heard one story. I mean, the American dream is real. It's out there. It's a possibility.
But public education is the key to keeping it real.
It is the key. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is the key.
Yeah. The motto of the United States is E pluribus unum. I think we have too much pluribus and not enough unum anymore. And part of the unum is our public education system in this country, which has been a glory of this country going back, for 175 years, 150 years, whatever it is. All right, folks, this has been a wonderful hour. Thank you both for joining me. It's been terrific.
It's always a pleasure.
And we are so pleased that we have public officials of this quality serving us in our city and in both your cases and the state level too. You're both state reps as well as aldermen.
Yep.
We could not do better,
And
folks.
thank your listeners.
Yes, thank your listeners.
So a lot of exciting things happening, and it doesn't happen without you, so get involved.
And don't forget the parade.
Get involved, and I want to thank Eric Lesniak for spearheading this parade. An awesome guy. He does the St. Patty's Day parade, I guess.
That's a
But
great
an awesome
parade.
guy, and he's there's a group of volunteers that are taking it on, and he's taking a lead. So Saturday at 4 p.m.
Okay. Folks, I'll be back next week with Mike Farley, my longtime co-host, and I believe we're going to have as our guest Rob Werner, who supports conservation voters of League of Conservation Voters, and went to Glasgow for the big climate summit, COP26, Conference of Parties 26. And it'd be really interesting to talk to him about what came out of that and what his experience was there. That'll be next week, folks, so come back and join us then. Thank you. Have a great evening, everybody.